Do you when you go out to eat, do you talk to a lot of servers about what you do?
I like that.
What's your favorite part about it?
The hot tub. I really
The hot tub. But don't worry, my customers are gonna take care of you if you take care of them.
Naturally.
How crazy is that?
Yes, very competitive.
You just don't like losing.
Don't like losing. Do not like losing.
When was that moment when you like reaffirm that you did make the right decision?
It was a rocky start. I had a slow start.
So what's your long-term goal?
I'm trying to be like you, David. I'm trying to do this $100,000 a month.
Welcome to my show of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, where we hear from regular people who got tired of living their ordinary lives and were not afraid to make that jump.
You gotta be different. You can't be doing what everyone else is doing. You gotta create action. You gotta create momentum. So I'm looking for demand and I'm looking for mentorship because I wanted to know everything my mentor knew.
People who are just like you and me. Hey, David Price here with another episode of Ordinary People Doing Extraordinary Things. We're here in Orlando, Florida. Super excited. If you see something that you like, please hit the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and hit that little bell so you get notifications every time I release a new video. And also put in the comments if there's something that you see that you like or something that you don't see and you want to see, so we can make a video for you. Today I have a very special guest all the way from Mississippi. I have Miss Rachel. How you doing, Rachel?
I'm doing pretty good, David. Thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate you coming down here. Man, I saw that house you guys are staying at, 8,000 square foot. What do you think about that house?
It's amazing. It's unlike anything that I've seen thus far.
How did it make you feel? Did it make you feel like, man, I need a house like this?
Bigger.
Bigger.
You think that you really want something, then turns out you're like, oh, well, this is what that feels like? Oh, yeah, I need something a little bit. I like this, but now I'm looking at something bigger. So expectations.
So what's your favorite? I mean, you got slides, you got the basketball court, the game room. What's your favorite part about it?
The hot tub. I really
the hot tub. Yeah, the back pool area was really nice.
And the balconies, having to come out my room and then I have my own, balcony. I love that.
Awesome. You deserve it. I feel like that's how everyone has the opportunity to live like that. They just got to be willing to put the work in for it.
Absolutely.
So awesome. So you started working with us, I believe about 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Back in May. Mm-hmm.
Back in May. Previously, you were at Lincoln Heritage, right?
Correct.
And that's where you started at, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But let's rewind. So you grew up in Mississippi, went to high school.
Little town, Union, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah, so small you blink, you'll miss it. It's one of those.
Okay, awesome. But the people there are amazingly nice.
Yeah, they are.
They are. You're hesitant a little bit. So you did what we were told, right? You went to high school, went to college right afterwards?
Absolutely.
And you wanted to be a
forensic scientist.
So what made you want to be a forensic scientist?
Well, I actually, when I started out, it's going to be crazy, but we watched the little shows, Law and Order, the crime scene units. Crime scene investigation shows. And, I actually wanted to look into law. And then I started digging a little bit deeper. I want to do more than that. I just don't want to be all the paperwork and all that type of thing. I wanted to be a detective. That was my thing. But because that does require a lot more, I wanted the science background of it, something more hands-on. So that's why I decided to look into that.
So you went to school, was it 4 years it took you?
Yes.
4 years?
4 years and like an extra semester there.
Awesome. So what was it like going to school? Like, was it interesting? Because it's one thing seeing it on TV, right? Yeah. TV makes everything look really interesting. So when you actually went and did the coursework, how was it? The
coursework itself with that particular major was great. I did not like, the other aspects of it, like the basic courses, like the calculus, the math, all that. Yeah, I didn't like all of that. But other than that, it was very interesting. Very hands-on. We had like mock crime scene units, different things we were able to, engage in. So different activities. So I loved it.
Awesome. So you went to school for 4 years. Mm-hmm. You got your degree. Any student loans?
Yes, tons.
You mind sharing how much?
I know maybe over $50,000 of
$50,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And how much do you think it cost to get your degree?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You don't want to know. You never wanted to add it up.
No.
So you got the degree, and then where'd you start working?
Well, as I was in school, I had a few waitress jobs.
Okay.
I started at a little place called Garfield's Restaurant. Not sure if you're familiar with that, where they ride on the tables, like with the kids and
They
all
ride
that.
on the tables?
Uh-huh.
No, I've never
Used to write my
seen
name
it.
upside down and backwards all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started there, but then they went out of business.
Mhm.
And so he was a district manager there, but he actually became a general manager of Old Charlie's. So I went there. And then after that, I went to Olive Garden. So just same thing, just waitress jobs throughout. And then when I graduated, I moved back home. So that's what happened.
So you're serving to get yourself through college.
Mhm.
You move back home. You got your degree. So did you become a forensic scientist?
No.
So what happened there?
Well, I didn't know that you had to have a job to get a job. I didn't know
Okay.
you needed, all the experience, of course. It was hard. I applied for so many jobs, got turned down because I didn't have that experience. So a little discouraging. But when I moved back home, I continued to wait tables, of course, just saving up my money, waiting on that call that I never got.
So I know you're a super hard worker, right? I see you. I mean, you're absolutely killing it. You've issued over $30,000 in production just last month. Made six figures within the last 12 months of the business. You're still a fairly new agent, right? Getting started. When you serve tables, so I imagine you worked all the hours.
I did. The 4 or 5 hours wouldn't do it. I try to work mid shifts, maybe 10 to 8, 11 to 8, something like that. That's what I did.
So what gave you this work ethic? Have you always been like this?
Yes, very competitive.
You just don't like
Very.
losing.
Don't like losing. Do not like losing at
Awesome.
all.
Awesome. I love it. So, all right. So you got your degree.
Mhm.
You found out that it's a lot harder to get a job as a forensic scientist as you thought it would be. When you were going to school and you're working, were you just like, once a degree, like, is that the promised land? Like, I just need this degree. I'm going to get an amazing job. Like, did you feel like that was just going to be amazing?
I did, because you're taught, coming up that you go to school,
Mhm.
you get a degree and then you get a job. I thought that's how it was supposed to work. I didn't know it came with the student loans and the having to have a job to get a job thing. I never knew that. I was just ready to get out there in the field and get at it. I mean, this is what I worked hard for. I went to school for it. So that's what I expected. Nothing less. So.
Awesome. So, well, not awesome, right? I think that so many people, they go to school and they think that, and I see it. And it's real unfortunate, right? And we're so
It is.
programmed in that, and that's what you're supposed to do. So you finish school and then you found insurance.
Yes.
So how did you find insurance?
Okay, so I was waiting tables. I had a little situation that came, of course, something personal. I ended up quitting my last job at Olive Garden. And then I didn't work for a little while. My first time mom, I have a 2-year-old now. At the time, she wasn't even 1 yet, but I just knew we're in the middle of a pandemic. I had to do something. I don't like sitting at the house. That's not something that I just do. I've always worked and figured out how to, make money. So I went online. I went to Indeed, and I was looking for customer service jobs. Something that's pretty much along the lines of, what I was already doing. I knew I can talk to people. I don't really meet a stranger. So I thought it would be something that was, kind of interesting, and I could still be at home and provide for my daughter. Turns out what I applied for, it said customer service, but it was actually insurance. I did a group presentation on a Zoom meeting. And yeah, it was a little scary, never having a commission-based job. So didn't really know what to expect there, tips is one thing, but because I had done it so long, I kind of already know what the average is going to be, based off my service. But when it comes to commission, yeah, it was kind of scary.
It's funny you say that, because I always feel like there's one story I'm thinking about in particular. I used to be with network marketing.
Mhm.
And she used to like frown against network marketing. Like it was like this pyramid scheme, this bad thing. And I'm like, looking at her, I was like, you realize your employer isn't even the one that pays you. He relies on his customers to pay you. If anyone should be open-minded about making money a different way, it should definitely be a server.
Right.
Think about that. Like you're working at the restaurant and it's like, hey, you're gonna work at my restaurant. I'm only gonna pay you $2 an hour.
$2.13.
$2.13 an hour. But don't worry, my customers are gonna take care of you if you take care of them.
Naturally.
How crazy is that?
It's really crazy, sometimes it gets to a point where you get tired of getting what people think you deserve. You know
Right.
what I mean? So to now have something to where you get exactly what you, like whatever you work for, that's how you get paid. That's amazing.
I love it. Do you when you go out to eat, do you talk to a lot of servers about what you do?
I actually don't.
Dude, I would have business cards made up.
Well, sometimes so I'll write a thank you maybe and leave my business card there, but I don't usually talk. Like I don't usually say, anything. Maybe that's like the shyness in me. I mean, I don't meet a stranger. I can talk to anybody. But I don't know.
I would be on a mission to save all the servers.
Mm-hmm.
I would have business cards made up that would say, I used to be a server too. Now I make $500 a day.
I like that.
I would have something made up just for servers, and every single time I would, whatever it is, I used to make, I used to be a server too, and now I make 6 figures.
Yeah. Something really
call
catchy.
me and let's talk about it.
I like that.
So I just told somebody, I sent them a video. They're thinking about getting their insurance license.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashley is a teacher, or was a teacher, a preschool teacher. And this person, she teaches, I think, like kindergarten.
Okay.
And I know she's not happy with the money she makes.
Yeah.
So I did a video with Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, she used to be a preschool teacher. She made over $10,000 last month. And she commented back, I need to finish my insurance license course. I was like, only if you're not happy with your current financial situation, right? You always got to poke a little bit.
Yeah. I like that though. That's catchy.
Yeah, I would do something like that. I would be like on a mission because your story could help so many people. Think about how many people are serving tables because, again, they went to school, they got a degree they don't know how to use, they think they can't get a job somewhere else, they're just waiting tables, and they're going to wait. And there's nothing wrong with waiting tables, but I feel like people that wait tables are already entrepreneurs. They already know the hustle. They already know how to work. Without having it, I worked at one of my first jobs was a small Italian restaurant.
Okay.
And we did a lot of a delivery. So I delivered food, but I did everything. I was the delivery guy, but if someone came to the counter, I was the counter guy. And if some pizza needed to be heated up, I was the pizza heat up guy. And if something needed to be cooked, I was the cooking guy. And if the tables needed to be clean, and so I was whatever.
More than one role, right?
And when people say, "What time are you getting off?" I say, when it's not busy anymore, right? I'm first man out. Whenever it's not busy, so it could be 5 o'clock or it could be 8 o'clock. I don't know. But I think that's what's special about servers, man. So if you're a server and you're listening to this, there's better opportunities for you for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you got your insurance license now. Was it hard for you to get your license?
No, not at all. I was very nervous now. Kept studying everything, of course, going over all the material, thinking I have to pass. But when I got there to take my state test, it's like everything was foreign language. Like, I don't know, what is it? I know I studied. So it's like, okay. So I remember when I was getting ready to submit it, I went back and I probably changed over half my answers. Like, just analytically think like, okay, well, I know this is this. Let me just do process of elimination and just make sure that's the right thing. And then, when you get done, where I took mine, it was like, they don't tell you pass or fail. You have to wait. And then she gives me the paper upside down. And I'm just like,
oh, that's the worst.
What does that mean? So I pick it up and I slowly, I'm like, oh my gosh. I just remember shouting for joy. I don't know. It was great.
You're a forensic scientist. It should have been easy for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, naturally. It wasn't. It was difficult. It was so difficult.
So you got your license now. How was the beginning for you? How'd you start off?
Horribly.
Horribly.
My first month, I guess it's like maybe a good thing and a bad thing because, we talk about serving and hustling and doing it all pretty much on your own. I really thought it was something that I could just do with no assistance. I got that. I mean, I studied. I know this piece of cake. But then it's like getting, into the business. It's like, okay, maybe I don't know what I'm doing because now it's not working out how I thought it was going to be. I need some assistance. I need some leadership, some guidance. So my first 30 days, I guess I didn't hit the ground running like most people do. Okay, it was a rocky start. I had a slow start. I don't know the exact number, but I don't even think I made not even a couple $100 my first. I don't even think I produced not even $1,000 my first month at all. And then it just kind of slowly started getting better. I think it was my third month and I kind of took off a little bit.
So it was a gradual thing. It just got a little better over time. Did you have a aha moment where you're like, okay, or I didn't see what I'm doing wrong, or maybe I need to work more than an hour a day. Maybe that's the problem.
We have these Zoom calls, like these Zoom meetings, to
Mhm.
where you can actually get some assistance and
Mhm.
coaching and all of that. And I was never getting on them, but when I
Okay.
started to, of course, and then they ask you to come off mute, let someone else hear your presentation so
Mhm.
that they can help you. Um, I was always nervous. I was always, I'm not gonna come off mute. They're not gonna hear me. I'm not gonna mess up. I'll just listen to them. And when I did, it's just like it was a game changer.
So when you got coached,
Hmm.
when you let some people
When I
coach
was
you,
coachable and teachable.
yeah,
At first, I was not.
there you go. So you
So.
jumped on the BCC, you started
Hmm.
doing what it took. Awesome. So I know at Lincoln you had some success there,
Yes.
right? So that's awesome. So what, if I'm somebody and I'm having success and I decide to go somewhere else, like how does that happen? Because I know it's hard, right? There's a lot of people at Lincoln, a lot of people at every company like having success.
Mhm.
What was it that you seen or made you want to make a change if you're already doing well?
Well, it's the opportunity.
Okay.
I'm doing well now, and just imagine if that opportunity gets bigger. You know what I mean? To where
Mhm.
I can exceed what I'm doing now. Like, I don't want to be stuck at one spot. I don't want to be, to where I get to a level and I'm just there for forever. I do want to progress. You know what I mean? I want to do better. I want to get better. I want to be able to help other people. And I believe that that's the biggest thing. I don't know, I'm a risk taker. I like to say that I'm a risk taker. So yeah, it's scary, but I mean, somebody has to do it.
Did it work out?
It did. It did. I'm super excited. I really am. It's really working out actually. So.
So I know for me, I didn't work at a different insurance company or anything, but I did storm work.
Mhm.
And my year previous to get my insurance license was my best financial year
Mhm.
ever. Made more money with less effort than ever. So I was super thrilled. But I knew that I couldn't scale it to the level I wanted to scale it. So I was in search of a different business opportunity. So I got my insurance license. But just like you said, like there's stuff to learn in the beginning, right? And I wasn't making the kind of money I was used to making in the beginning. But I remember having my first month where I made $20,000.
Mhm.
And that was about what I was making before, about
Mhm.
20,000 a month. And once I hit that point, I was like, aha, like I felt it. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like I got my breath of fresh air. Like,
Mhm.
okay, this is possible. I just got to keep going.
Right.
Like, did you have a moment when you came over? Because I'm sure there was still a lot of fear, right?
Yeah.
When was that moment when you like reaffirm that you did make the right decision?
When I saw my first check.
The first check.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a big difference. I just feel like, okay, because it was so scary, moving over and learning new things, and it's, different, I don't know what's to say, like different, I don't know, everything's different, everything's
Mhm.
different. So of course there are expectations with everything. When I actually, made my first call, when I actually got a chance to speak to somebody, you know what I mean? And actually like fully go through everything, of course, with a client and be able to help them. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I really don't know what that would be though, David. I don't really know.
So you just worked out. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like you came over, you made your first sale. You're like, okay,
I can do this. I did it one
yeah,
time. I can do it again. It's one of those
awesome.
type of things. And it's just like, okay, you'll get better with time. You didn't hit the ground running in the beginning. So that's to be expected. It's okay. You're a winner. You'll win just when it's your time to win. So just keep going. You know what I mean? I couldn't just give up because I just made a big decision in my life. You know what I mean? I'm already doing well. And now I'm, striving to do better.
Do extra well.
Right. Excellent.
Excellent. Well, you're absolutely a warrior. And a lot of respect for you guys that did make that decision. Because again, it's hard, right? When you're having success. But what I like is that you realize you had a bigger vision. Like yes, I'm having success, but I can't help as many people as I want to help. I can't offer the same opportunity to people. I can't help as many clients.
Right.
And you're like, I'm going all in, man. When you got one life to live, right?
Right. That's it.
That's
That's
it.
it. I mean, it's crazy, but seriously, like being able to help everyone. I mean, there's no one that I can't help now. It does make a big difference. I feel like, you're giving somebody peace of mind that they were not able to get help somewhere else. And now I'm able to do that. It's not all just about money. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
about servicing people.
I love it. What are some of your short-term goals?
Well, I want to go ahead and get this 6 figures here in the next couple of months or so. Um, I want to do that, and I don't know, I want to build my team. I definitely want to get at least, up to like, 50 people or better,
Okay. 50 producing
yeah.
agents?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So what's your long-term goal?
I'm trying to be like you, David. I'm trying to do this $100,000 a month. That is amazing. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe a multimillionaire. That would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can. I mean, you're crushing it. Yeah, it sounds like you had a better start than I did.
Mm.
It's crazy. It's crazy how it just snowballs,
Yeah.
over time and I never see myself making what I make now, right?
Mhm.
Like I wanted to, I thought I would do well, but then at first it's like, man, it's taking way longer than I thought it would. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, that was faster than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Does that make
It all
sense?
seems like it just happened so fast, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're thinking what's crazy. I told you I'm competitive, so it just seemed like at the last company I was with, there were always competitions, and I'm like, I gotta be first. And if I come second, and I just say I lose by 50 points or so, I'm like, what? I know I had that. Like, how does that even happen? And I remember, I was going for the 6 figures, and I was going for my $100,000 ring. And, with all these contests and competitions, of course, I mean, I of course, placed. I always won some type of incentive. But it's like I was going for the $100,000 ring and then ended up being number one in the country. Like the number one agent in the country. Like, who does that? You know what I mean? I wasn't even thinking about that. Like, that was not in my plans. My plans were just to go for this 6 figures. I can do this. I can crush this. And then I remember getting up to like number 4. And then I'm just like, oh, you got to do this. Like, it's like possible. It's in my reach now. So I have to try. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's amazing. Like you said, it just happened so fast. As long as you, I think, keep focused, on what you need to be focused on, the rest will come.
Awesome. I love that. I love the competitive spirit in you.
Mm-hmm.
I love how the portal, when you see what place you're, it pushes you.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was talking to Robert Shiver about a while ago. And I told him, I was like, man, if people could see what place they're at, I guarantee people would push harder.
Absolutely.
And then that showed up in the portal. I don't know how it had anything to do with me talking to him about it, but I know that's how I work. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, for instance, if I was number 2 and I was like, all right, well, I just got to push to get this number 1 spot.
It definitely helps. It definitely helps because you're keeping track, and you can, because I mean, I track my daily goals. So I have to know what my little milestones are to get to my big milestones. So, I need to know, okay, well, what do I have to do to get to this big goal? I need to know about my little goals. So if I can see that along the way and see, where I need to be, it just helps me. It gives you the extra drive, the extra motivation, I feel like.
Absolutely.
That you didn't have before.
Yeah. And that's it. It's all about trying to figure out how to help people get the best out of themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of new agents that watch this show. What is some advice that you give to a new agent? Either they just haven't found their success, or maybe not the level of success that they want.
Keep going. Don't quit. You have to keep going. You got to go through something, to get to where you need to be. At first it doesn't seem like something that's going to be easy, but I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. So I would just say, keep striving to do your best every day.
I would say I never had an agent fail with me unless they quit. Right? That's it. Like, if
That's
you don't
right.
quit, like, you'll make it. I can't tell you when exactly. Some people will be from day one. Some might take longer.
And I think that's another thing. Everybody's, everybody's success, it's different. You know what I mean? Like I said, you have some people, I see them, I didn't have any experience at all, with say like telesales or, insurance or anything. And like I said, I had a slow start. But some people, new agents, I see them, like I said, they hit the ground running. It's like, I don't know, like they're on fire. So, I mean, I just say keep going, your work ethic, you know what I mean? And, your determination, you'll get there.
Work ethic fixes everything, I feel
Yeah,
like.
I think it does. I definitely do.
Yeah.
I
Like, if you work, like, you'll learn. You can't learn if you don't work, right?
Yeah, experience, you know?
Getting the experience. So, is there anything else you want to say to our viewers before we get out of here?
No, I think that's about it.
That's it?
That's
Awesome. Well, that was another episode of Ordinary People Doing Extraordinary Things. If you like what you see, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and hit that little bell so you get notifications every time we have a new video. And put some stuff in the comments. You have anything to say, or if there's a new video that you want us to make for you, please put it in the comments.